Hello and welcome to How Mundane, the least interesting place on the internet. Today, it is certainly convenient that there is Disney Parks news at about the same time as a brand new Lorcana set once again. So let's check out Reign of Jafar, see if we pull anything out of this booster box. And let's talk about Disney Parks news, one of my favorite topics. So I guess going chronologically in order of things that have been announced. First, there is the new park being opened in the UAE, which was certainly a surprise. I will be interested to see how it turns out. However, I am a bit conflicted. I do not believe it is a secret that I have been to all of the Disney parks with the exception of Shanghai Disney because I have some reservations about traveling to mainland China. I don't know that my reservations about traveling to the UAE are... I think I see something good. Into the unknown. Brand new Enchanted card. That is a big old hit. Anyway, I don't know that my reservations about traveling to the UAE are as significant as my reservations about traveling to mainland China at this point in time, but it's still somewhere that I have more reservations about traveling to than, say, Tokyo or Paris, for sure. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the geopolitical, whatever you want to call it, is looking like by the time that park opens in a few years and determine whether that is somewhere to add to my Disney travels. I continue to hope that the situation with China improves so that I can cross Shanghai off my list, because it does look like a nice park. Anyway, moving on to the more recent Disney Parks news. There were a whole bunch of announcements in the past week or so from when I was recording this, related to developments at Magic Kingdom and at California Adventure. So let's take the Magic Kingdom first. They finally rolled out a full detailed plan about how they are going to implement sort of their version of Cars Land to replace Tom Sawyer Island and the lagoon at the Magic Kingdom. And I gotta say, it looks okay. Look, I get it. A lot of people are nostalgic for Tom Sawyer Island. It was one of the places I had fun with when I went to Disneyland the first time when I was 5. But it's a ghost town, like, pretty much all the time these days. So that means it's kind of just dead space. And if it's just dead space, nostalgia aside, Walt was always of the position that the parks were always going to be changing and evolving. And I think that comes with the realization that some of these things, as they... Here we go, there's a rat again. As they no longer meet the needs of park goers, will have to fall by the wayside. And I am a little concerned about what is going to go on with the sort of microclimate in the park with the loss of the body of water. But I have to assume Disney knows what they're doing in that regard, because they've managed to make it work everywhere else. So I think by and large, what they've announced for, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's based on planes that exist in the Cars universe and will also have Cars stuff. Looks like it'll be a pretty good upgrade. The other announcement was, of course, that there is an Avatar Land. There's a Jasmine Dual Link. An Avatar Land coming to California Adventure, displacing the existing Monsters Inc. ride, which of course there is a new Monsters Inc. coaster going in at Hollywood Studios across the country. So we're not totally losing Monsters Inc. here. It is kind of funny that we're trading one Sully for another Sully. But if it's anywhere as good of an attraction as the one that is at Animal Kingdom, and by that I mean Flight of Passage, of course, it's again a welcome upgrade. The Monsters Inc. ride was fine. It was just a generic dark ride. It's not nearly as good as Monsters Inc. Hide and Go Peak at Tokyo Disney, and I think anyone who has ridden both of those rides would say the same thing. Yeah, double silver pack. So, I think that space at Hollywood Studios in general could be better used because it is kind of a weird dead corner with a lot of, you know, unused space back there. In fact, it's where they tend to throw stuff during Oogie Boogie Bash that's set up to be out of the way. So yeah, I'm totally fine with the loss of the Monsters Inc. ride, provided we get a decent Avatar ride and not just the boat ride again, because let's be honest, the boat ride, while fine, is just a boat ride. So what are your thoughts, if you are also a Disney Parks person, on all of the many changes coming to the Disney parks? I mean, within the last few weeks, we've also had a more formalized trailer of sorts about the Muppets upgrade to Rock and Roller Coaster. We had the final closure of Muppet Vision 3D, another attraction that, while I am sad to see go, is definitely kind of gotten to the end of its useful life, as it were. I mean, you know, it was great. It was always special because it was Jim Henson's last project, but it was starting to show its age, and it wasn't one that you could really update. Also, if you update it, then it's not really Jim Henson's last project anymore. You know, it would be cool if they could do a version of it or something in, there's still that 3D theater available in Epcot over in Future World, or did that get decommissioned too? I'm not sure, because I haven't been in it in years. Anyway, if they could preserve it somehow, that would be cool, but I think it will be just as special if they manage to preserve perhaps some of the animatronics and find a way to work them into the, you know, Rock and Roller Coaster pre-show, whatever they're going to call Rock and Roller Coaster now. Yeah, having ridden the redone Rock and Roller Coaster into Iron Man ride, there's Amari. Redone Rock and Roller Coaster into Iron Man ride that exists in Paris. It turned out pretty well. You know, you had to think the Aerosmith thing always had a bit of a shelf life to it anyway. So I am not opposed, and there we go with a Rapunzel. Not opposed to them converting it to Muppets, something that's a little more timeless. Let's see if we get any last pack magic from Reign of Jafar. Nope. Alrighty, that's Reign of Jafar. We did have one really good hit this time with that Into the Unknown Enchanted. Thanks for being mundane with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.